you can get a really clean update and change to your UX. I guess with something as simple as a menu, it just looks so much nicer like this than it did before. Hey guys, if you'd like to get access to a full library of point and click tutorials that can teach you to build the sort of things that I go through on my YouTube channel, then join our Skool community, Bubble Black Belt. There's a link in the description. In this community, we give you access to a library of point and click tutorials that actually take you into your app and teach you how to build the sort of things that you'll see on my channel. This approach to learning gives you access to awesome resources, courses, quick solutions, and we can actually take you step by step as we are here through everything that you need to do to complete those lessons and those courses and become a better bubble builder. So if you're interested in getting access to things like, even in this video, we're going to go through now the hover activated side menu. Joining our Skool community, you can find out exactly how to build them, and you can build them yourself in your own app with our interactive building experiences. So hopefully I'll see you in the Skool community. All right, so I thought I'd do a bit of different content today where I'm actually going to go through and just talk through my logic, my thinking, everything that I'm doing as I try and, I guess, achieve something on the platform. And what I'm trying to do here is turn this menu that I've got, this side menu, into a menu that collapses with a hover. And the way that I've done it, the way that it's working currently, let's just open this up, is I don't like it. It's something I did really quickly. It's basically where I have to click to open. And there's some issues there straight away. And the way that I've done it is with a second menu, where there's basically two different menus. I've built collapsible floating menus before, and I prefer to do it from just one menu on its own, which is this one, and it just hovers and closes, and you can sort of set up some conditional expressions to say that it's closed, and then when you hover, it opens up like this. So I'm going to talk through my thinking as I do that. Essentially, we've got this one menu. We're going to forget about the close menu. We've got this one menu, and the thing we have to do is take it from being always in this position to essentially tucked in with a much smaller width and activated, I guess, popped out to this position by a hover of the mouse. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to say that I'm basically going to set the current conditions or the current state that it's in to be the hover state. And the way we do that is we go through and we set some conditional expressions, and I'll say when this floating group is hovered, I want the width to be 200. Awesome. And then I'm going to say, so only when it's hovered do I want that width to be 200. And then that way we can set, I'm just going to keep this on for now, but that way we can set the default state to be 60, which is what I want this to be. So I'll go and turn that off, and it should collapse. Yeah, I think 60 is good. Awesome. So now we've got to have everything else fall into place. The way we want to do that is we want to make sure that fit width to content is on. So we want fit width to content to be on, so that there's no min width. But we want to, I guess, transfer that stuff across first. So we're going to say that when floating group, what's this one called? Horizontal menu is hovered, we want the min width. Let's call it 160. I think that would reach the boundaries. Maybe a little bit more. 170. Perfect. So we're going to say that when this floating group is hovered, we want this to be 170. The min width for this individual group to be 170. I'm just going to change this sort of broader group that looks after all of these. And the 280 issues is because I've copy and pasted so many pages in this app across to work on. Okay, so everything looks good there. The group holding all of my buttons, the fit width the content is on. All right, now we're going to copy this across to each of the other groups. Just nice and easy. And basically, my approach with this is if I've got something existing in place, which is a menu that pops out and sits like this, if I've got that already, all I need to do is sort of reverse engineer it and just build all the logic to have it at that state when something else happens. And that something else happening is me hovering my mouse over this menu. So I'm just putting in, I guess, the conditions that I want so that it can be in this state, and then from there we just set a default state. Okay, we'll clear that for now and come back to that. And there's some really cool stuff that I've got on this page, which I'll very quickly show. So this is like a calendar I've set up with a repeating group. You can click on items, you can view those items, people can mark attendance, you can view documents, or you can even go in and attach documents if there are documents for it. You can view events in the past, and one of the things I'm going to do in the upcoming video is show how you can attach all of this to a calendar so that someone can click on the calendar and it opens up an event like that. But I'll keep going with this. Okay, so I've set up the min width for all of these groups, and we're now going to say that what we want is essentially that for all this text now, we want this to collapse when hidden. We don't want it visible on page load. I might actually make that change last because I do want to be able to see it. So I'll go back and change that last, and then I've got to go in and set individual conditional expressions for each of these. So we'll say that I can actually copy and paste, or paste this straight in. So when this menu is hovered, and we just change this to say this element is visible. But we also want to put in here, we also want to say, so when this menu is hovered and when this menu's width is when its width is at least, let's call it, is greater than or equal to 160. And the reason I'm doing this is because essentially if we only say that when I hover over this menu and when it pops out, I want to see the text, it's going to show us the text straight away. And it looks really bad if you're hovering over the menu, it's taking 1 or 2 seconds to expand in terms of like its width, and then text comes up straight away. So like the text sort of comes up before the menu's even expanded. But if we do that, we want our mouse to hover and we want the menu to be at least 160 in width before the text flashes up, then it's a much neater transition across. So I'll add that in. Awesome. We can just paste this across. It's just all conditional expressions really. And there'll probably be some little tweaks that we've got to make at the end, but this is going to be 10 to 15 minutes of work to turn a menu into something that's okay, into a really good menu. And there is one transition that I use here. No idea what this is about. I'll get rid of that for now. Awesome, okay. And now we can go through and we can say for all of these text items that they are not visible on page load. Because the default state that we want here is just icon showing only. So let's have a look at what we've done so far. Might have to hide this original menu. Yeah, so I'm just gonna delete this menu actually. And I should have it visible on page load. Yep, awesome. Okay, so cool, that's what we want so far. There's a few UX things we've got to change, but essentially I'm hovering, I'm seeing the text. I can get rid of this up the top, which is a button that I used before. And we're gonna make the margins, the padding much smaller. So we're gonna make it like 12. Yeah, awesome. I'll get rid of that button. Already that looks so much better. Yeah, that's what we want, perfect. Okay, so now what we want to do is, well, I should just move that a bit over. What we want to do is have a bit of a smooth transition as it comes out. And the way that we can do that is because we've set up, so the approach I had before where I've actually got two different menus, you can't have a transition between them because you could, but it's going to be messy doing it with two different menus. But what we want to do here is we just want to say that the border width, not the border width, just the width, we want to ease in. So that's just a really simple transition that we're adding to say that we want a half a second sort of transition in. And already there we go. So much cleaner. I don't know what the hell this stuff is, but we'll fix that up. There we go. Already looks so good. And there's a few little tweaks we've got to get rid of here, but that's all right. I'm going to get rid of this line when it's open because we can see in the orange. All right. Just going to move this across to a different page so I know what I'm working with. So this should be collapsing when hidden. So the only reason we're not seeing this text at the moment is because I haven't actually logged into the user's account there. So let's say that this is collapsed on hidden, not visible on page load. Same for this one. Paste in the condition, awesome. And now we can set a default width for this to say turn that off. Alright, so we want this default width to be a little bit wider than it currently is because I just realized my microphone wasn't facing me, so the sound might have been poor, which is annoying. We want this a little bit wider than it actually is because we do have a sort of an orange line next to it that indicates that this is the selected menu item that someone's on. So we're going to do min width of 50, 40 maybe. We want it right up against the edge, yeah, awesome. Call this 45 again. And then I can set some conditionals now for this that match all the other ones. Got to do them one at a time. I've already done that, awesome. Okay, let's see if that's any better. Very confused about this. What the hell that black line is, but let's have a look at that. So as soon as it's hovered, so we just need to do the same thing. So we're going to say the same thing that we did for the text. I'm going to say that when it's hovered and its width is greater than or equal to 160, because by that stage it's, let's just say 170 then. So I'll go through and fix that for all of these. Awesome, so let's have a look at what that looks like now. Still getting that. And it's sort of jumping out a bit, which is messy. Like it looks good, but you don't want it jumping out. You want this, let's just get rid of those orange lines actually. Yeah, we can, because sorry, we're going to keep it. We're just going to say group dashboard is visible and floating group horizontal menus width is less than or equal to whatever it is, 60. Copy that in and we'll just drop that across. I actually think I need to do page URL here. Yeah. So I've set up that I want the page URL to be the reason the orange line shows for the other one. So I want to do the same for this one as well. So this is dashboard, or this is hub, I think. So is hub and floating group. So a little bit of sort of fiddling with this. It's less than or equal to 60. Now I can copy this across and just delete the other ones. I'm going to call it my business instead. Awesome. So more than anything, to get something like this done, it's literally just a bit of a process, but it really does show you what this is 15 minutes in, like the amount that you can do in 15 minutes once you've sort of got a good understanding of, yeah, just good UX or sort of how to navigate the UX on the platform, or how to navigate the tools to build good UX. Awesome, I think that should be it, unless I've missed something. I actually like that. I don't think we really need even a line to indicate which one it is, because we know by which has been clicked. And then we've got this avatar at the top which people can click on. So we're going to get rid of the padding here. Let's get it a little bit tighter. Yeah, I think that's all right. All right, now let's check if I log in, what does it look like with the person's name or the text? I don't even know if this person has a name. Okay, I reckon that looks fine either way. The one thing I do want to add is then we just want to fix up the width for this container. So it should be 60, the margins. 65, just keep it a bit of space. Now we'll do 60. And then we want to add in here, get rid of that. When this floating group is hovered, then we want the left margin to be 200. But we also want to put in a duration to say 500 milliseconds, so it goes at the same pace as the menu coming out. There we go. How good does that look? 20 minutes of just tinkering with the system and you can get a really clean update and change to your UX. I guess with something as simple as a menu, it just looks so much nicer like this than it did before. Don't know why it's taking a second to load. So cool. There you go. Quick insight into my thinking and my thought process. 20 minutes of a little build. Hopefully that helps and gives some insights into, yeah, some tips and tricks on the system.